Alright, so what's up guys, welcome back to a brand new video. So today we are going to go through on how to play Progmon the card game. You guys have been asking me a lot of times of showing you guys the rules, the basics of the game, and yeah, today we're gonna go through with the rules and stuff. Today this video is gonna be two parts. Part 1, which is this video, it will be about the basic rules and how you're gonna play, which is the really basic stuff. And for the part 2, we'll go on to the abilities of the cards and some keywords of the game that you need to know to proceed with the game and stuff like that. So yeah, without further ado, let's get to it. So the way to play Progmon the card game is pretty simple. You have two players. Each players have a deck of cards like this, and the deck of cards includes 50 cards, 45 monsters, or should I call it Progmon cards, plus item cards, and 5 data mark cards. I'll show you the type of the cards in just a bit. So yeah, these are the 3 main types of cards that is in your deck, which I will show you now. First one, you will have Progmon cards. The Progmon cards are basically like monster cards. You have Progmons made out of different memory size. You can see at the top part here. Yeah, so each one they have different memory size. This one has 10 GB, 20 GB, and 30 GB, which I'll show you the function of the size in just a bit. And next we'll have item cards. Item cards acts like the assist, which gives you special abilities or powers, depends on the cards, and helps you to win the game. And the third type, which is the important cards in your deck, is called the data mark cards. So data mark cards, it acts like the energy or mana, which helps you to activate the effects of the Progmons, or you need to pay data mark cards to call out a Progmon into battle. So like I said, in this game, the aim of the game is 2 players having different decks made out of different Progmon cards, and you attack with each other, taking turns by battling and attacking each other. And the way you win the game is to bring your opponent's overload level up to level 7, which you can see here. So I'll show you the playmat real quick. So as you get the deck, you have this playmat, which acts as your battlefield. You have the S memory zones and I memory zones. These 3 zones are the slots where you place your Progmon to be in the battle. So if you want to attack your opponents with your Progmons, the monsters will be placed here and you take turns to attack. And each zones, the S memory and I memory, has different functions and differences. And we will have the loading zone. The loading zone is like a zone where you place your Progmon with loading points. I'll show you right here. Like the card you have here. This one is called Rover Troll. So you guys can see there's loading points. The red ones is the loading points. You have 2. So before you can play this card, you need to place it on the loading zone. And you place the card here with the turns same amount as the loading points. So say if you have loading points of 2, you need to place the card in your loading zone for 2 turns before you can play or call out this card, which in this game, you call out a card, you call it download. So if you want to download this card, Rover Troll over here, you need to place it on the loading zone for it to load for 2 turns, as shown in the loading points here. Simple. And then we'll have the data net. The data net is where you place your data mark cards. So in the beginning of the game, you take all 5 your data mark cards and place it here as such. And each time when you use a data mark card, you flip it face down to show that you already used 1. And if you use 2, then just flip 2. Just like that. For the program zone is actually where you place your deck. So in this game, the deck is called a program. So just place your deck over here on the program zone. The junk zone is like the drop zone in every card game, which you place the cards that already been destroyed or used, it will end up in the junk zone. So say for example, I've played these 2 cards, so it's not usable anymore, so I'll just play it in the junk zone. Easy. Oh, and not to mention the overload zone. So overload zone is like the life points in every game. So for this game we use overload. So each turn when you get attack, your overload level increases. So we'll start from 0, and when you get attack directly, you move 1 overload level up, which is from 0 to 1, and the person who gets to 7 loses the game. Alright, so for you to actually start the game, like before you and your opponent start your game, you need to set up your battlefield. So first thing you need to do is to find, for me I found a coin or anything that can indicate the overload zone. So just place it on the number 0, because like I said, the game starts with your overload level at 0. And then the next thing is you need to place 5 data mark cards on your data net. I'll just unflip these real quick. Just place it like that. And then next thing you're gonna do is place your deck or program on your program zone right here. And each player gets to draw 5 cards. So I'll do it real quick. 1, 2. Alright, so these are my cards that I've drawn. As you can see, I got 2 Progmon cards and 3 item cards. So if you're happy with your hand, you can keep it and wait for your opponent to draw. But if you're not happy with the card, say if I don't really like the hand, like it's not balanced, you can put it all back here, reshuffle your deck, and redraw your hand. 5 cards. 1, 2, 5. You can only redraw your cards 1 time, so if the second time you draw cards you're not happy, sorry to say that you have to play with your hand and you need to trust your luck throughout the game. So yeah, think wisely before you redraw your hand, because you can only do 1 time. So for the game, you have different phases that you need to go through. We have 5 of them. So the first phase that you'll start with is the draw phase. So in your draw phase, you can get to draw 1 card during your turn. That's what I'm doing now. Alright, so that's draw phase. And for players who go second, you guys can draw 2 cards. So before the game, you can play rock, paper, scissors with your friend, and whoever goes first during your draw phase, draw 1 card. Whoever goes second, you can draw 2. And after you draw, you'll declare setup phase. Setup phase is where you start to download Progmons onto your battlefield. So, but for this turn, I'll call Scoop here. So as you guys can notice, there's active and passive slots on your S memory and IR memory zones. So before your Progmon attack, they are known as active Progmons. So you place your card covering the passive bar. So it represents that this Progmon is ready to battle and it's not used yet. So active. And you can also call more Progmons onto your iMemory zones. So I'll call this Tadima. You can call as many as you want. You can call 3 of them, you can call 2 of them, but just to remember that there's a size limit in this game, which is 80 GB. So means that 3 Progmons, all of their size add together should not exceed over 80 GB. So take note of that. Alright, so as you proceed with the game, you go to the main phase. The main phase is where you can play your item cards. Some item cards can be played or must be played during main phase. It depends on the cards, which I'll go through the skills and the stuff of the item cards in the next video. And also you can make your Progmon into higher level Progmons by downloading the stronger forms of the Progmons. So say you have this card, this is Rover Track, it has 20 GB. You can place it on top to download a new Progmon. So for you to download into higher size Progmons, you can only do it in the second turn of your game. But the thing about downloading into higher level Progmons or higher size Progmon is if this card's just entered the field, like say if it's your first turn, you just download it during your setup phase, you can't directly download it like that. It's not allowed. So you need to wait for the next turn in order to download a higher level or higher size Progmon. So yeah, that's for the download part. So do take note that there is, like I said, there is size limit, which is 80 GB. Also, there's another secret rule, which is any cards that is in the iMemory zone, their size shall not be higher than the S memory cards. So say if, for example, Tedima here only has 10 GB, which is not higher than the S memory card, then it can be played on the iMemory zone. So do take note of that. So as you play with the game, you need to plan wisely and properly on what card you want to play on the battlefield. And then for the loading zone, you can also place cards in your loading zone during your main phase. So say I have Robotro here, it takes 2 turns for it to be completely loaded. I can place it on the loading zone first for around 2 turns, and after 2 turns, when it's about time to download this card, you can use it directly from the loading zone onto your S memory slots or iMemory slots, depends on you. So for example, I want to download a higher size Progmon onto S memory slots, which is Robotrack over here, but it takes 1 loading point to load before you can play this card. So I can place it on the loading zone first, then I'll use it on the next turn. Then for the battle phase, it is time for you to attack your opponent. So the way you attack is to simply just move your Progmon cards from the active slot to passive, like this. So by covering the active bar, means that this Progmon has already attacked, then can't be used again for this turn. And then you can attack as many as you want as long as you have active Progmons on your battlefield. So when you attack your opponent or when your opponent is attacking you, please do take note that the iMemory zone monsters or Progmons can be destroyed if your opponent power is higher than your iMemory card. So say if your opponent is using, let's see, a Robotro card to attack you, which has 1300 power, and you only have 800 powers for Tedima, and it will be destroyed. So when it's destroyed, place it on the junk zone here. And for the S memory cards will not be destroyed when it's attacked, but when it's attack and the attack lands directly on the S memory card, you increase your overload level by 1. So if you got attacked twice and it hits successfully, just move 1 and 2 more. Depends on the number of attack you got hit by your opponent. So when you're done with all the battle and stuff, you can declare end phase, and it's your opponent's turn to draw the cards, download the Progmons, and attack you. And the game goes on until someone reaches overload level 7, then he loses and you win the game. So yeah, that's it for the part 1 of the Progmon TCG gameplay tutorial. I'm really sorry if things is a bit complicated. I'm not really that good in explaining stuff, but of course, if you guys have any questions or any confusions, feel free to leave any questions in the comment section below. I'll be more than happy to explain the rules and stuff. So if you guys want to get your very own Progmon TCG trial deck and the cards to play, it will be on sale on GameCrafter in about a month. I will update you guys once everything is done and it's on sale, so look forward to that. And yeah, I think that's it for this time's video. So if you guys like it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you guys haven't already, and make sure to check my previous video as I unbox the trial deck 1 Sacropolis, which I am using now, this one, and also trial deck 2 Arcademia. So if you guys haven't checked out, be sure to check out on my YouTube channel. Be sure to check out the videos, it's on my YouTube channel. So yeah, I guess that's it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.